Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I will be doing a review on the ColourPop Mint to Be palette. This came just in time for St. Patrick's Day. In this review, I will be doing some swatches and a makeup look. This palette contains 9 shades of pastel greens. It has 5 mattes and 4 shimmer/metallic finishes. Now let's take a look at what each of these shades look like. Get Fresh is a pastel mint shade with a matte finish. I usually like to use lighter shades as transition shades. Although this is a light color, it is pigmented and what you see in the pan is exactly what you're going to get. ColourPop described mint tea as a metallic, vibrant mint with a gold sheen. When I swatched this shade with my finger, it did come off a little powdery, but when you smooth it out, it turns out very beautiful and vibrant. This is actually one of my favorite shades in the palette. It is very shimmery and looks very nice when you apply it all over the lid. Play It Cool is an icy mint green with a duochrome shift. I'm not sure if I see the duochrome shift in the shade, but it looks like it should shift from a light pastel green shimmer to a silver white shimmer. This metallic shades come off sheer compared to mint tea. I have to layer it a few times for the color to come out. I would use this as an inner corner highlight, and if I were to use it all over my lid, I would probably apply concealer all over my lid first to help this shade pop out even more. Seltzer is a soft aqua with silver pinpoints, although this has a matte finish. If you look very closely, you can see very tiny little specks of sparkles, but it is not visible when you apply it to your eyes. It is not that noticeable in the pan too, unless someone like me who points that out. This shade can come out very pigmented after applying a few layers, so it is definitely buildable. ColourPop describes Mojito Mommy as a true mint shade. I'm not sure if it's just me or I would think a true mint would be a darker green as opposed to a lighter green. At first, I thought this shade is a bit sheer when I first swatched it, but after a few more swipes with my finger, this shade is also buildable and I love how the shades reflects the lights. The Menth is a soft dusty mint with a yellow or olive undertone. I find one application is not enough for you to see its true color. When you layer it a few times, this shade is actually quite pigmented and is also another shade that I would use as my transition shade since I don't really go for an all matte eyeshadow look. Ice Cold is an electric mint shade with a matte finish. For me, to get the exact color I see in the pan requires me to really pack it and layer it up several times. Out of all the green shades in this palette, I would say that this shade is the closest to a true green and is also a green that I use for my St. Patrick's Day inspired look. You should check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. Freshman is a mid-tone mint with a shimmer finish. To me, this slightly looks like a lighter navy green shade that glides on very nicely with barely to no fallout. This color is very reflective and bounces light very well. ColourPop describes Chill Factor as a deepened mint shade. It is a deeper navy shade with a matte finish. Out of all the shade in this palette, this is the darkest shade and I think it would make the best shade to deepen up your crease no matter what look you create with this palette. This shade does come off a bit patchy after the first application, but it doesn't mean that it is not blendable. You just need to use a fluffy brush and in a back and forth motion to soften up the edges. When I layer this shade with my finger, it seems like it will look less patchy when more color is applied. During my swatches, I would say that most of the shades in this palette comes off light. Even with the darkest shades in here comes off a bit light, but you can apply several layers for a deeper look. I also find that this palette feels very velvety and blends together very nicely. There wasn't really much fallout compared to the Cloud Spun palette that I recently reviewed. Now I'm going to create a makeup look with this palette. I'll be using my MAC 217 brush and picking up Get Fresh and applying that all over my eyelid. This is going to be the base for all the eyeshadow, so I'm going to be blending it above my crease and sort of creating a cat eye shape. And I'm just blending this in a back and forth motion. And I'm going to bend my brush and apply this shade all over my lower lash line and connecting it towards the end. Now I'm going to be using a denser brush to pick up Day Menth and focusing that on my crease but below the first shade so that it looks blended together. I'm also using a back and forth motion as well. And when I got closer to the outer third of my eyes, I'm using a circular motion. I'm also going to apply this shade all over my eyelid as my base for my shimmer shadow. I'm bending my brush and applying this underneath my lash line, staying as close to the lash line as possible. And I'm going to be taking my Lancome number 12 brush and applying Mojito Mommy all over my eyelid. There's actually quite a bit of fallout from this shade, so I'm not going to be packing this on my lower lash line. I'm going to be taking the last shade with my Sigma E30 brush, and the shade I'll be picking up is Play It Cool, and I'm going to use this to highlight my inner corners. I would say that this shade has the most fallout in the pan, so you just gotta be careful and take a clean brush to wipe some of those fallout away afterwards. I am just taking the Urban Decay 24-Hour Glide On Pencil in the shade Perversion to tightline my eyes. Then I'm going to use the Ciate London Black Liquid Liner and create a wing. For this look, I'm going to be smoking out the eyeliner, so I'm going to take some black eyeshadow on my Anastasia Beverly Hill number 14 brush to smoke out that black liquid liner. I'm going to add some false lashes, and now this look is completed. When I was swatching this, I thought that the shades in here was not as pigmented as I would like it to be, but after using my brushes to create this eye look, it's actually very pigmented and it is buildable, so it will help you achieve your desired look. I do find that you have to dip into the pan several times, but the color do come out as is. What you see in the pan is the exact color you're gonna get. You just have to build up the intensity. And I am a lover of pastel colors, so I truly enjoy this palette. If you want another look for this palette, I did release a video last week for my St. Patrick Day inspired look, but I did cheat a little bit with one of the color. I used a gold shade from a different brand because I wanted to stick with the St. Patrick Day green and gold color, and this palette doesn't have a gold or yellow color, so I had to dip into a separate pan. You can watch that video and use the exact same technique, but replace the gold with any shimmer shade in this palette and it would look just as good. Let me know your thoughts on the ColourPop Mint to Be palette and what you think about this look I created in the comment section below. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!